I ignore my lost leads because I'm not making any money from them. So why would I even look at them? But that's the thing. That's where we get to learn and add more value and ensure that we're not going to make the same mistake twice. You've got to open up those lost leads. So I'm going to tell you right now is I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why law firms lose leads. So you have seconds to reach back out to somebody so that they know I don't have to reach out to anybody else because this law firm is on top of it. Welcome to the Intake Playbook, the podcast where we transform your law firm's intake process into a secret weapon. I'm your host, Gary Falkowitz, and I've spent more than a decade helping law firms across the country maximize their intake performance. If you want to stop leaving cases on the table, create a better client experience, and grow your revenue, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. All right, guys and girls, listen up because I'm about to share how to make a loss into a win. At one point, I consulted with a law firm that was a pretty high volume shop, and they weren't tracking certain KPIs or key performance indicators. Specifically, they didn't really know their true conversion rate. Now, first, let me define the conversion rate for you. When I talk about conversion rate, what I mean is of all of those leads that qualified, of all those leads that met your criteria for representation, what percentage of them did you ultimately get signed? That's your conversion rate. Now, there's something else to know about your conversion rate, because your conversion rate also tells you, by looking at the other side of it, what rate of those qualified leads, what percentage of those qualified leads did you lose? Did you send an agreement out on, but you did not successfully get it signed? That's your loss rate. Now, you might think, oh, well, Gary, I ignore my lost leads because I'm not making any money from them. So why would I even look at them? But that's the thing. That's where we get to learn and add more value and ensure that we're not going to make the same mistake twice. You've got to open up those lost leads. You got to figure out why you lost those leads, because you might realize, as many law firms that I've consulted with have, that there are some easy things we could change internally to increase our conversion rate and decrease our loss rate. So I'm going to tell you right now is I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why law firms lose leads. So get that pen, get that paper, start taking some notes because this is gold. Number 1, indecision. Indecision. On that first call, it is absolutely necessary that our intake team not only has the education, but also has the authority to make decisions on behalf of the law firm. We don't have the luxury to tell somebody, let me go review this with my attorneys and get back to you, or let me think about this, or can you please get us a copy of your police report or a photo of the damage on your car. We don't have that luxury, guys. We're in a competitive industry. Many law firms want the same type of people as clients that we do. And if we tell someone, if we imply to them that now we're not ready to convey our interest about representing them, then basically they're going to say, well, I'm going to go find someone who has more interest. So it's really important that we are decisive during the first conversation. Number 2, inadequate follow-up. I need you to understand something. In this day and age, our attention is everywhere. Distractions are everywhere. And it would be very silly for us as a law firm to proactively and aggressively come to a conclusion that someone is not interested in us because we called 3 or 4 times and they haven't called back. That's silly. What we should be doing is being aggressive at following up and waiting for someone to tell us, I'm sorry I went somewhere else, or I'm sorry I'm not interested. I'm okay with that. It shouldn't be days. It should be weeks. Sometimes it should even be months if there's active follow-up and active communication. So it is extremely important that your team is following up aggressively for a prolonged period of time. The 3rd reason why we lose cases, lack of escalation. You've heard me talk about this thousands of times. If you're speaking with someone who's on the fence, if you're speaking with somebody who's hesitating and they qualify, but they're telling you what's holding them back, the last thing we want to do is, you know what, Mrs. Johnson, why don't you think about it for a few days? We'll give you a call back on Friday or Monday, and let's see how you're feeling then. You're not the only game in town. You can't say that to somebody. That's got to be a flag for you to escalate. If someone's hesitating and they qualify, regardless of the reason for their escalation, you find an attorney, you find a manager, you find a supervisor, you find an owner, you find a partner, you find somebody that you can escalate that lead to so that they know how important, so that the claimant knows how important they are to our law firm. Number 4, the 4th reason why we lose leads, insufficient language in communicating our interest in representing a claimant. We can't just say, well, you qualify, so I'm going to send you our agreement, just sign at the bottom, and then we'll get started for you. That sounds like someone who thinks that they're the only law firm in existence. license, which is obviously very far from the truth. We have to be able to convey for them what it means to qualify for representation. We have to be able to explain to them that now we have the ability to begin an investigation on their behalf. We have to be able to tell them what to expect, what the legal team looks like, when they'll hear from us, what happens next. We got to be able to share all of that so that they have some reassurance that they did the right thing by reaching out and signing with our law firm. And lastly, the fifth reason why we lose leads, response time. If we are not fast to respond, you might as well just tell people to stop calling your law firm. Guys, I don't care if it's via text, via email, via phone call. Within seconds of someone reaching out to us, they have to get a response from our firm. Now, listen, years ago, there was a quote that said something like, if you respond to a web lead within 5 minutes, you're 9 times more likely to convert that lead into a client. And that may have been true in 1936, but that's not true anymore. Right now, it is seconds. You have seconds to reach back out to somebody so that they know I don't have to reach out to anybody else because this law firm is on top of it. So it is necessary through technology or through human resources that you are very fast in responding to someone that reaches out to you. And by the way, that also includes picking up and answering a phone call when someone calls your office. Because I don't know about you, but when I call a business and no one picks up in 4 or 5 rings, I hang up and I call another one. Don't be a victim to that problem. So to come to a conclusion here, remember, don't ignore your lost leads. Dive into them, learn from them, and then make sure you never repeat the same mistake again. You got this. Thank you for listening to the Intake Playbook podcast. If this episode sparked a new idea or insight, take a moment to screenshot it and post it in the Intake Playbook group on Facebook. Share what resonated with you or what you'd like me to dive into next. Your input helps shape this podcast, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me ask you this. Is your intake process maximizing every opportunity? If not, I created the Intake Masterclass to help. Inside, you'll get access to the tools and strategies I've used to help firms transform their intake process and turn missed opportunities into measurable wins. Plus, you'll join a network of professionals all focused on growing their firms. The ROI you'll see from refining your intake will speak for itself. Visit intakeplaybook.com today and start making every lead count. Thank you again for spending your time with me on the Intake Playbook podcast. Remember, intake isn't just about systems. It's about building trust and creating connections. Keep pushing forward. And if you're looking for more resources or details from today's episode, check out the show notes at intakeplaybook.com. I'll see you there.